Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Studio B in the Elmwood Media Complex. It is Friday, May 30th, the end of our first week of existence. I'm Kevin Rouch. This is the Daily Scrum, our fourth webcast so far. We welcome you back. And I thought today was not supposed to rain, and it has done nothing but all day long. Muirfield, there's just something about it, what it does. We all know it. We don't want to say it, but it happened. It rained a little bit yesterday on them early in the day, and today it has just been a constant, sometimes a little heavier than others, but just a drizzle rain, and it's a little cold out there, and it's just not what you want to do when you play golf, although some guys are playing okay out at Muirfield today. We hope to be out there next year, and looking forward to that. If we can do that, that'd be a lot of fun. So we'll have a whole year. It's like the Rose Parade. We'll work on it for a year to get out there in 2026. All right, but besides the rain, what do we got going on? Well, let's look at quickly at the national news, the NBA playoffs. The West is over with OKC. They lie in wait, having won their series 4-1 over Minnesota, second time in the NBA Finals. Last time was in 2012. They were defeated by the Miami Heat. That is LeBron's and Dwayne Wade's Miami Heat. Again, 2012. Well, the Knicks, although it looked as though it might be a game like game one where they got up by 20 and then Indiana came back. Indiana came back in the fourth quarter, but couldn't hang on and kind of lost their momentum. And Knicks a solid win to force Game 6 in Indianapolis, and that will be on Saturday. So they are right back. And let's see, a day of rest today, and then they'll be in Indianapolis on Saturday. So who will win that to face OKC? I think odds are Indianapolis or Indiana in Indianapolis, but the Knicks seem to have a little bit of momentum working now, so we'll see. The NHL, well, the semis are over. The conference finals are over. Effectively semifinals, because we are now going to the final series, the NHL Championship Stanley Cup final series, with Edmonton winning last night 6-3. They won, and they got a couple late to kind of cement it. It was a one-goal game for it started out Edmonton 3-0 right off the bat in the first period, but the coming back Dallas did a good job, but just couldn't hang on, and then a couple of late goals into the empty net. 6-3. Edmonton, the winner, and the Oilers will face, as they did last year, the Florida Panthers. That will start Wednesday, June 4th, this Wednesday coming up in Edmonton. Now, last year, Florida won in 7 games. They in fact, Edmonton led in Game 7, but got outscored 3-1 in the final period, if you remember that. And in the series total, in the 7 games, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl combined for just 1 goal in the series. So that will have to be a little different if they're going to try to win it. But that will start next Wednesday in Edmonton, Florida. And Edmonton, of course, a couple of guys that we're familiar with here in Columbus, on Florida. Seth Jones joined them this year, playing in defense and the point on the power play. And, of course, Bob in the goal. So Sergei Bobrovsky in goal as he was last year, and kind of quieted up the naysayers a little bit after that big contract. Looked like it might not be a good thing for Florida, but he proved that it was and may prove it again. He's played very well leading up to this series. All right. So that's the national news today. Let's take a look at what's going on around here, some of it in progress. Did want to mention again the Ohio State kickoff times. That was announced. Those were announced yesterday. The game against Texas will be at noon on August 30th, despite some attempts to, and again, that's the Labor Day. Is that the Labor Day weekend? Not sure about that. Maybe. Here, we got to look it up now that we said that. They were talking as though it were, but that just strikes me as not right. So let's look it up here real quick while we're doing it. It is actually, yeah, because Labor Day is the 1st of September, so that 30th begins the weekend. And that makes sense now that Ohio State was trying to move it so they didn't have to play at noon. A lot of people just don't like that for the big games. But Fox is going to be here with their big noon Saturday telecast, so not a big surprise that it's going off at noon. But they tried to get it to the next day in prime time, and that just didn't work for a lot of other people. So it will be Texas, Ohio State in the back-to-back. They'll play at Texas next year. But it will be at noon, August 30th. That's Saturday of Labor Day weekend. And I'll remember that now for the rest of the summer. The next games were also announced. Grambling will be at 3:30 the week after on September 6th. And that'll be on the Big Ten Network. Ohio University the week after that will be in prime time, September 13th on Peacock. And, of course, we know Michigan will be at noon as always. And so we know those 4 games. Something else that we found out yesterday, kind of found it after the show yesterday, but DJ Fillmore, who was a sophomore at Ohio State, he went to high school at Licking Heights, grew up in the Black Lick area, but went to Licking Heights. He became the first Ohio State Buckeye to punch their ticket to the Nationals in track and field at Eugene, Oregon coming up. But they're in Jacksonville, Florida in the NCAA East, kind of the preliminary, the first round of things. But he finished 10th, which was good enough to get into the finals in Eugene. He jumped 24 feet, 7 3/4 inches, which is 7.51 meters if you're keeping track. So anyway, DJ Fillmore going to Eugene to represent Ohio State out of Licking Heights High School. Congrats. Also, yesterday, the Ohio State women, actually, he did that on Wednesday. We found out about it yesterday. Yesterday, in the preliminary rounds, Leah Bertrand, we'll make some inquiries on that pronunciation, but Leah Bertrand broke the Ohio State 100-meter record with a 10.92 run, and that will move her to the next round in the 100 meters in the NCAA's East competition down in Jacksonville. So those two, and we'll have more from Ohio State folks today and tomorrow. So we'll let you know on Monday what happened there. So that's just a couple of things real quick. Now let's get to Clippers game last night. Next week, we're going to see if we can get, I don't know if he's allowed to do it or not. We'll find out. Maybe we'll pressure him a little bit. Ryan Mitchell, their play-by-play announcer, who I've known for a long time, back to Frontier League days. But he is on the road with the team in Rochester. And it looked as though they might get their first win. They lost the first couple, only 1 run, 7 hits in their first 2 games at Rochester. It looked as though they would get the win last night. They got up, and that's one of our stories today, the lead picture on the front page at cbussports.com. 2 S's in the middle, don't forget. But they were up going into the 9th inning, 7-5. So they figured out how to score in Rochester. But Rochester scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th, and then scored 1 in the in the 10th and got the win 8-7. So a heartbreaker for the Clippers last night. Petey Halpin, new to the Clippers this year, center fielder most of the time, hit his 5th home run of the season, also had a sacrifice fly, but was not enough. The bullpen kind of let him down a little bit in the late innings last night. I was listening to my friend Ryan Mitchell and just frustrated along with him as gave up the lead in the 9th and then lost it in the 10th. We were kind of keeping an eye on Aaron Davenport, got a second start for the Clippers, the lefty. No, I take that back. He is not a lefty. He's a right-hander. He had just come up last week from Akron. He gave up 3 runs in the first inning against Iowa last week, and they pulled him after an inning, had that ugly 27 ERA thing showing up after doing well in Akron to begin this season. Got his second start last night and gave up 3 runs again in the first inning, but they let him stay out there. He ended up going 4 1/3, allowing 5 runs on 8 hits, 3 walks. So, again, not a great start, but he got better. And we've seen some other people do that as they've kind of climbed the ladder. I'm going to yell at people for English later in this program, and that was not good. That's a first. All right. So they will play tonight, trying to get their first win in Rochester. That will be at 6:45. Doug Nickhasey will go for Columbus, 2-3 on the season. I mean, he's actually been up with the Guardians as well this season a couple of times. So he is a lefty, and he will go today. Andrew Alvarez looking for his first win. He is 0-5. He'll get the start for Rochester. That is 6:45. You can watch that. You can watch it on the app if you're going to do that. That is the Bally Sports app. They're still around doing that. That's free if you sign up for the app. You can see it on MILB TV, or you can listen to Ryan Mitchell on Fox Sports 920. That's on the AM dial. So that is tonight beginning at 6:45. Also, a player came over yesterday. We're looking for him to get in there. And this guy is a left-hander. I just feel like saying that about everybody, but he actually is. Matt Crook, spelled Krook. The Guardians claimed him off waivers yesterday from the A's, and what we call them, Sacramento A's, soon to be the Las Vegas A's. But Matt Crook came over and was assigned to Columbus yesterday. 30-year-old left-handed reliever, has been a closer a lot. Might have been able to use him yesterday. But he will be with the club to start his career in the Guardians system. We have going on right now the boys volleyball, actually just ending, the OHSAA boys volleyball. Actually at noon, Thomas Worthington, New Albany played. Thomas was the number 1 seed coming out of Central Ohio. New Albany further down, they just kept upsetting people to get to the state tournament. But it was Thomas Worthington getting the win at noontime today, sweeping that 3-0. So Thomas Worthington will be in the finals on Saturday beginning at noon at Wittenberg. And they will face the winner of Cincinnati St. Xavier, Cleveland St. Ignatius in that game, or that game kicked off at 2:00 over at Wittenberg. And so we don't know the result of that, but that's who Thomas Worthington will play, either St. X or St. Ignatius. And that will be noon tomorrow. So we have a really good chance to Central Ohio to get a winner over there. The other thing going on is tennis, and we talked a lot about that yesterday. Unfortunately for Columbus, none of the singles qualifiers in Division I, we had 4, made it to the semifinals. And in fact, the champion has been named. It's Greg Bernadsky out of Mason, Ohio. He's the state champion in Division I. We did not have anybody advancing to the semis in that. Again, Division I singles. In doubles, we do have a winner, a champion. Do we, from Central Ohio? I believe we do. Let me just check. Again, let's see if we can make this a little bigger here, and I'll tell you all about it. We do. It is Abhinav Dandu and Jackson Clements, a couple of seniors from New Albany High School. They won in the Division I doubles, so they're state champions from Central Ohio. They beat a double team out of Sylvania Southview 6-4, 6-4. So they might have broken them once each in those sets. So we do have a state champion in the doubles team, again, of Abhinav Dandu and Jackson Clements out of New Albany High School. Congratulations to them. Now, in Division II, we're doing all right because we don't have a state champion yet. And something tells me they went indoors up there if the rain is like it is here today, because they had a tennis club in Worcester that they were going to use. But Nason Lowe from Columbus Academy is in a semifinal match coming up against Axel Neely out of Gates Mills Hawken High School. So it'll be Lowe and Neely doing battle in the finals in Division II. Again, Central Ohio, a chance to grab another state championship. On the double side, we also have a chance with the Lessard brothers getting to the final match, and that has yet to be finished up. But Sam Lessard, the senior, playing with his younger brother, Henry, who's a sophomore. Henry won the single state championship from Bexley last year at the Ohio High School tournament, but decided this year he wanted to play with his brother in doubles, and they have a chance to win that a little bit later today, as they will be taking on a tandem out of Indian Hill High School in Cincinnati. Really good program down there. So again, Sam and Henry Lessard playing for a state champion title, and that will be going on here a little bit later this afternoon. So we'll talk about that more on Monday. So pretty exciting stuff, both in volleyball, boys volleyball and boys tennis coming down the stretch. Now, Memorial, what a beautiful day to be on the course out at Muirfield Village. Let's take a look at who is on top. Let's just refresh our screen. Three guys tied at the top at 7 under. Ben Griffin was 7 under after his first round. He's even today through 9. Griffin won last week at the Schwab tournament down in Fort Worth, Texas. So playing well and in the slop. He's made it through the first 9 even par to share the lead. Nick Taylor, the Canadian, is 4 under today through 17. He's got 1 more to go. He is also 7 under total. And Colin Morikawa, 2 under today, trailed by 2 coming in. He is now tied for the lead at 7 under. He is through 6 holes, and he is tied at 7. At 4 under, Scotty Scheffler has shot a couple of 70s to put him 3 behind. He's done for the day. Akshay Bhatia is also at 4 under, 2 under today after being 2 under yesterday. And then at 3, Sam Burns, who had a 65 today in the rain, moved up 44 spots, the American, went 76-65. That's how you get it done. He is at -3 total. Shane Lowry, even through, the Irishman is even through the first 9, his front 9, and he is also 3 under. It looks as though the cut will be at +4, just missing it. It looks right now. Michael Kim is +5. Matt Fitzpatrick out of England is +5. Justin Thomas, who yesterday shot an 80, shot 69 today. Of course, he is he's got local heritage. His dad, Mike Thomas, and I went to high school together at Zanesville High School. Mike's dad, Paul, was the pro at the Zanesville Country Club, played some tour events as well. So Justin Thomas, that's his grandfather that was the pro at Zanesville. I played in a couple of juniors tournaments that Mike Thomas played in, and I was not in his flight. He's a year older, and he was many, many, many spots ahead of me at the end of the day. But Justin, to his credit, came back, shot a 69, and is right now one off the cut line. Who knows? That could change by the end of the day. And we're seeing that Matt Kuchar is also at +5. Cam Young at +5. Chris Kirk, who has played well lately, is also at +5. So all those guys trying to see if they might, the cut line might move down just a little bit. It's the top 50 and ties. So top 50 and ties. And then if you're within 10 strokes, but that's not going to help them today because right now that would be +3. So +4 looks like it might be, but those are 46 and ties. So you've got, let's just look here. There are 51 guys over that cut line. If a couple of them drop below, that would bring in the +5s. And at +4, there are still 3 players on the track. So if a couple of those would drop down, the +5s would make it. But again, at the top, 3 guys tied at 7. Ben Griffin, who led it at -7 after the first round, Nick Taylor, and Colin Morikawa, all at 7 under. If you're saying Scheffler must be nearby, he is. He's only 3 shots out. He's done for the day after shooting his second straight 70. So that is a Muirfield update for you. Let's take a look at, before we, I want to look at a couple things just to make sure we do this in the right order. Yeah, this weekend, of course, the final 2 rounds at Muirfield, we'll be intent on watching those. Of course, we won't have Jason Day, Westerville residence there. He is injured, so did not make a start there at Memorial. Always love to see him play. And Rory McIlroy did not play this time. Don't know if he's since called Jack Nicklaus, but that was a story this week that he had bowed out without calling Mr. Nicklaus. Also going on this weekend, we have got Denison baseball. They start tonight. Hopefully they'll get it in. Up at East Lake, Ohio, the Lake County Captains, the single A team for the Guardians. It's their stadium up in East Lake in the Cleveland area. They start Division III, the World Series. They call it the Championship Series, but it is their World Series. They'll play Rowan University out of New Jersey. They are known as the Rowan Profs, like professors shortened, but it is Profs. And that game is scheduled to go at 4:45 this afternoon, working into the evening. Now, the way that the World Series works, there are 8 teams from around the countries, 8 D3 teams from around the countries. They're divided into 2 4-team pools, and they play a double elimination to get to winners of those 2 pools. And then those 2 winners play at the beginning of next week. It kind of bleeds over into Monday and Tuesday. They play a best-of-3 championship series at the beginning of next week. Maybe try to sneak up there and see if Denison, who is the number 2 seed, the top seed in their pool, see if they can advance to the final. That would be great. Also, Ohio State continues through tomorrow to take part in the NCAA East, kind of the first round of things in track and field down in Jacksonville, Florida. So that'll finish up tomorrow. A couple, as we know already, one person going in DJ Fillmore. The sophomore is going in the long jump. He advances. He's out of Licking Heights High School. And we've got the Clippers playing after tonight. They still got 2 games in Rochester. Tonight is 6:45. Tomorrow is 6:45. And then on Sunday, it will be at 1:05. And then I believe they come back to, well, while we're sitting here, let's look that up and make sure that I'm not telling you something wrong. They will, let's look, we got to advance it to to June. And indeed, next week they come in to play Toledo, who they kicked off the season with up there in a 3-game series. But it'll be Toledo in for 6 starting on Tuesday the 3rd. You know it's Dime a Dog night on that Tuesday, so that's a 7:05 start. No day games during the week this time, but Sundays will be at 1:05. And that is, and you might want to look, if you've got young kids, it is Princesses and Pirates Day. That is on the 8th. That's Sunday game at 1:05. Check that out as a neat promotion at Huntington Park on Sunday. But again, Dime a Dog Tuesday, Princesses and Pirates on Sunday. And we'll try to get Ryan Mitchell. It would be great to talk to him about the team and his travels so far this year as their play-by-play guy. So we'll talk to him. The Crew, who another draw on Wednesday with the very, very hot Nashville team. It doesn't get any easier. They head down to Miami to take on Inter Miami and Lionel Messi. Right now, Miami is 2 points behind the Crew, but they have a game in hand, meaning they have played one fewer game. I'm gonna talk about my rant, I'm gonna have a rant here in a minute about English, and that would be good if I spoke it previous to that. But they have one fewer game than the Crew does Miami. Those two teams tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. And of course, if you've got a subscription and then another subscription, you can watch that on Apple Plus TV. Of course, you can always listen to that as well. A bunch of places. Go on the Crew website. A lot of different ways to listen to that game. And I would tell you to do that. Okay, here's the rant. That's what get off my lawn means, is my 65-year-old just turned 65. So I'm a young, new 65-year-old. But I've got a rant about one. It both involves English, which by this webcast is, I don't know if I have standing to do that at the moment, but so I have a grammatical point and a pronunciation, 2 pronunciation points after that. So let's see how this plays out. All right. First of all, I have heard more than a dozen times in the last month on broadcasts. It's not just people speaking in everyday life. We know that we all take license when we do that. This is about announcers, sports announcers, who get paid a decent amount of money, both nationally, some locally, to be honest. And the first one is the use of the present perfect tense. I'm doing this from my mom, who, God rest her soul, was an English teacher and drilled us on this growing up. But in the present perfect tense, things like have watched. I have watched the movie for a couple of hours now. That is the past perfect tense. And the watched, the verb there, the first verb or the second verb, the helper verb is have or has. The second verb is the past participle. Now, I'm sorry I'm doing all this, but we'll get back to like common use. But I have heard many, 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 and too much that announcers have used the phrase have went. There it is. I said it. Have went. The other one is have ran. Now, that's something that you might say in a broadcast often. Often's another one. We'll save that for another time. But it is have gone and have run. Not have went, not have ran. It's have gone. So I would commend that to my brethren and sisterin. I'm not sure how that goes. But again, speaking English should know. But it is have gone. See how many times you can hear it in broadcast this weekend, have went. It's just wrong. It's not one of those optional things like we'll talk about pronunciation. It's just wrong. It's have gone, have run. There are others, have seen, not have saw. And I've heard that too, which is remarkable to me. But it is not, please stop saying have went. Please. You're just not right. All right. That's the grammatical thing today. The pronunciations, And I've heard it because of the tournament here in Columbus, the memorials here, right, at Muirfield. And people now say, and I never heard this growing up, never heard this pronunciation. They say tour, the PGA Tour tournament, or the band went on tour. No, that's not the pronunciation. It's tour. That's what it is. It's tournament. It's the PGA Tour, not tour. And I heard a national, really big talk show, radio talk guy. That's his big word, is tour. And he says it all because he goes on tour. It is tour. That's the word. So we're going to work hard to make that. Then you might say, well, but it's but you can't, or for. That doesn't work. That analysis doesn't work because you have the tough, though, through analysis where you could say it's pronounced like this or that, and it just doesn't work because though and tough and through are all different, even though they end the same way. So you can't make that analysis. Really, it's use, and then I think it's lazy use, right? Tour maybe sounds, I don't know, is it upper class or something? I mean, we said it growing up in Zanesville. I don't think that's, well, anyway. So tour is the first one. The second one is where you have a VS, period, and people say verse, like Ohio State versus Michigan. That's wrong. That is wrong. VS is versus. Plain and simple. There's no abbreviated version of verses. There never has been, ever. And people will say, well, but it's VS period. It's not, but that doesn't matter. We have abbreviations for things that we say all the way, right? If you see an abbreviation, and I can tell you this, I didn't want to mention this. I'm fighting. I didn't say it the first three. I'm an attorney. I went to law school. And when we had cases that were VS period, no one ever said verse for that. It was verses. Okay, I feel better. Sweating a little bit hot, feel like I'm a 60-year fight, but you saw how I captioned it. Get off my lawn. I also realized that the language changes. We don't say thee and thou. Pronunciations change. Sometimes they're substandard, right? I mean, I grew up saying roof and crick and, route, all those things. I get it. The language changes. It evolves. But this is just, I find myself, I corrected my kids, and I probably, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have let the language flow. But those are my ones today. It's have gone, have run. It is tour, PGA Tour, and it is verses. Always verses, not ever verse, meaning VS. Verse is VERSE, right? Bible verse. So hopefully, hey, look, if you disagree, if you think I'm just being old, great. Send me an email. We'll talk about it. info@cbussports.com. Again, that's info@cbus, and there's two S's in the middle, cbussports.com, and we'll address it down the road. But that's just kind of the rant for today, to get off my lawn, and we'll do it again. I've got a few others that when I hear on the air, I automatically just, like, how your parents would correct you. I do that to no one. Those of us that talk to the TV or the radio, I do it all the time, and it drives my family crazy. So now I have a forum that I don't have to punish them. I can punish everyone out there, and that's the way it'll be. So again, this weekend, take a look. Muirfield 2 rounds left to go after today. Denison baseball starts tonight in their double elimination pool play at the D3 World Series in Eastlake, Ohio State. Their track and field athletes are in Jacksonville, Florida, in the NCAA East, trying to earn or punch their ticket to Eugene, Oregon for the NCAA Finals. Clippers, a couple of more games after tonight. They play tonight at 6:45, tomorrow at 6:45, 105 on Sunday in Rochester, New York, taking on the Red Wings. Crew in Miami tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., taking on Inter Miami and Lionel Messi tomorrow. That'll be a good one because they're battling for position in the MLS's Eastern Conference. And then boys volleyball state finals Also going on tomorrow, district play in baseball finishing up this week, regional play in softball, regional play in boys and girls lacrosse. Also, regional track meets for Ohio High School Athletic Association teams this week as well. So we'll have lots to talk about next week, and we'll break it down talking about the athletes. Hopefully we'll get a couple of coaches on the air to discuss it as well. But that's going to do it for us today on the Daily Scrum. We hope, I hope my rant wasn't too much, but I felt strongly about it, and I'm not apologizing yet. I may have to, but that will do it for us today. We hope that wherever you are staying dry, and that this weekend will bring good things for you and for sports all over Central Ohio. I'm Kevin Rouch. This is the Daily Scrum, and we'll talk to you next week.